Hello, and welcome to episode 18, 19, 19, right? 18? One of those two. We're on one of those episodes this episode. Welcome. Hope you're having a fantastic day. For me, it's actually late in the day. Most of the time when I'm recording these is very early in the morning, and y'all are getting groggy chance. Now you're getting sleepy chance. So, yes, welcome. Hope you're ready for another awesome episode. Today we're going to be diving into some Powah. And I don't mean like RFFE power. I mean Powah with a W. Any hoosers. We also have this sort of auto crafting system right here. We'll just pop on down here to take a look at it. This is using applied energistics. We have a couple of the smart cables. Honestly, none of this stuff is really needed. I've looked through the rest of the pack, and I wanted to just make it the sort of the item sync. And we have it here now. If we want to use it, we can. Cool, whatever. But it's not necessarily required. So we'll be going through it fairly quickly, and that way you'll know what you need if you want to set this up, and you know how it all works. If you've ever used refined storage, it is similar to that. If you haven't, I do have a refined storage guide on the channel already. You can maybe check that out. But applied energistics is a little bit different. So the cables we were using before, they will work. The problem is they can only hold one channel. You can see this has 4 of 8 channels. Each device sort of takes a channel, if that makes sense. Now, I don't believe this entire thing needs to take up each vein here, right? We could move this out and it would only take up one channel, I'm fairly sure. But for example, you know, the security terminal, I think that takes a channel, so on and so forth. So we do need to expand off these glass cables because they can only hold one channel per cable, I'm fairly sure, or 2 or 4, something like that, something low. So we've upgraded our cabling. If you want to do that, you can come into Applied Energistics, and it's right here. Smart cable, covered cable. I believe the covered cable can show you how many channels can be transferred, and then the smart cable is what actually allows you to carry more. And then you have the dense cable, which allows you to carry even more. And this is basically just taking the covered ones and adding them together. So that's how you increase how many channels you can have, and a channel is required for each machine, if that makes sense. So over here we have a fairly standard auto crafting setup. We have a pattern provider. Does exactly what it says. It provides patterns. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess this is fine. Patterns are essentially recipes that we have saved, right? So here we have a crafting recipe for this quartz glass. As it says right underneath the crafting pattern, it says crafts 4 times 4, you know, or 4x quartz glass. If we look at the actual crafting recipe, quartz glass puts out 4, so that's in line with 5, 4, using no substitution. So it's saying basically nothing's going to be filled in there. I'm not going to fill in the search quartz dust with Fluix dust, right? Same thing, we have a crafting pattern for blank patterns, which essentially just allows us to continuously create this. What this whole system allows us to do, in the long and short of it, is if we come in here and we say, let's just pull up patterns, right? So if we pull all these out, you'll see it says craft. I can click on this, select the amount that I want it to craft, not the number, but the amount of times I want this process to go through, I believe is what it's counting. It'll say what all is available. We can hit start. And there we go. Ooh, auto-crafted. This comes into handy later whenever you're crafting lots and lots of the same thing over and over again, or you're crafting something that's kind of complicated but also requires more crafted components within inside itself. That's kind of why we've set this up. Now, the key components, what you will actually need is some sort of crafting storage. So here we have 16K and 64K. Let's go back to Applied Energistics. These can be found right here in this middle section. And they're very similar to how you make the crafting cards for the terminal, right? So you just take a storage component and you put it with a crafting unit. All this stuff we've made before, so again, not too difficult. If you read on the website, it says that you need to have your auto crafting set up to be cuboid, and that basically just means in a square type shape. So here we have a cube of crafting components. So basically you need your crafting storage, which basically stores the memory of the patterns or the ability to craft the pattern. I don't know how they explain it, but you get the idea, right? You need this, and on the website it tells you basically per one pattern you need about 1K crafting storage. So this would allow us to craft a whole lot of different patterns here because we have 32 plus 64, right? Next up, we have crafting co-processing units. These are not required in the machine, so you can get by without having them. They basically just allow you to auto-craft simultaneously, and they're really not even necessarily in our unit. If we were to have another unit over here, we could kind of craft two things at once, right? Auto-craft two things at once within the same system, I believe, how that works. So more so used for expansion. We have the crafting monitor. Again, not required, but it could be nice if you want to see what you're currently crafting, what the processor is currently working on. I like the idea of it, which is why we have it front and center here. Then we have the molecular assembler. This is, long story short, a fancy crafting table. This is what allows your auto crafter here to make items, right? And you'll want to have it near the pattern provider because the pattern provider is sort of the thing that is putting the items in, right? It's what's pulling from the system and putting into the molecular assembler, and when the assembler finishes crafting, it puts it back into the pattern provider, right? This is the return inventory. That's basically how that system works. I'm not the smartest man in the world, so I'm not going to explain any more than that because, honestly, there's not too much more than that I understand. But again, it's similar to refined storage, and that's how I got through most of it. Applied Energistics, it can get a bit finicky. In order to do the patterns, what you'll need is this ME pattern encoding terminal. And basically, you'll just set your pattern. So say we wanted a pattern for wool. You go in here and you click the plus, same way you would to normally craft with JEI, right? And it'll put it in the pattern encoding screen. You then take a pattern, set it, and click the down. I'm not going to because I don't want to, well, you know what, whatever. And then it'll show you basically the output. And I think I could realistically, no, we can't clear this. Okay. I'm sure there's some way to. That clear this? No? Okay, whatever. So you get the idea of it, right? You come in here, select your pattern. Over here, we have the ME pattern access terminal. Again, completely unnecessary, but this just allows me to put patterns in without having to go down there every single time and access the actual pattern provider, as well as take them out. So that is all that system. It looks kind of confusing. It is to a degree, but it's fine. The obsidian chest you see down there basically just has a lot of the items from our system that are one-offs, right? Things that I don't want to clog up my ME system with because, again, you can only have so many types of item per storage cell, which is one thing that I really dislike about Applied Energistics, if I'm being honest. But yeah, that's basically this whole setup explained, minus this top piece. So this is the wireless access point. What this does is essentially connect your system up wirelessly to where you can use a wireless crafting terminal, which is what we have here. Ta-da! Allows us to access our crafting and our storage system from literally anywhere in the base. I made sure to upgrade it enough to where it would extend that far. Now, to upgrade the range, what you'll need are these wireless boosters, and you can just keep putting them in. Now, the more you put in, the more RF it takes. So if I take out half, 36, put them back, 88. Obviously, it starts scaling a lot higher. Just be wary of that. To sync your wireless crafting terminal to the system, you'll want this. Goodness me, I keep having to break this glass floor. You want this security terminal, and what you can do is just throw your card in there, and it'll link it to the system, and you're good to go. All of these things that I've gone over are things that you can already craft, given the items that we've already been over last episode. So I goodness me, I cannot speak tonight. I have basically just upgraded our system here. That being said, I think that's that's it, right? Because we did all that last episode. All this we're all caught up on. All that we're all caught up on. This is new, right? This big cable, but it's literally just doing the same thing that this system from Simple Storage was doing, and it's running straight into our what is this thing called? Storage controller. And then on the end of that, we have a ME storage bus, which is basically just connecting it, right? The storage bus is the same thing as these link cables. It's just saying, hey, this inventory, put it as part of our system. Where now I can come in here and we see all the gold nuggets, lead nuggets, iron ingots because of basically the giant wall of materials, right? So that is where we're currently at as far as our system goes, and it's very nice, very smooth. I'll still be using this most of the time just because I don't want to run out of our power, which we're probably fine with. I have also upgraded our backpack to where now we have a much higher stack upgrade, so we can have a lot more items within inside of it. Don't ask me why I have so much bamboo. I was doing a little rearranging. We have a crafting upgrade in case I wanted to craft in this. We have no reason for it, but you never know. Battery upgrade, which allows us to charge our system here. So basically you just click on the tab, put your thing in the minus, and it will output it. You can also put an input, and that'll keep this battery charged in here as well, which is pretty nifty. And then we have the stone cutter. So if we're on the fly and we want to stone cut something, we can put it in here, grab out the materials. Shucks, sorry. And last but not least, we have the advanced refill, which basically just keeps warped planks in my bottom right. So as soon as I use one, you can see it goes back to 64. I have it like this for whenever I'm going around and building stuff. If I want to just not fly and, you know, place a block here. So that way, hold on. I want to place a block here so I can put something there. I don't ever have to worry about refilling that one specific slot. So it's just for being lazy, really. That's it. But isn't that what modded Minecraft is all about? Now we're going to dive into the actual, you know, section of the mod that we're talking about, and that is Powah. Now you'll see here it's very back and forth, if you'll notice the lines. And that's because you craft this, and you craft this, and you craft this, and you craft this, and you craft this. And it's literally just upgrading, right? You just keep upgrading your system. It's not linearly, I don't believe, but it's you'll see. It's very cyclic. The whole process of it. It's very cyclic. So to start us out, we're going to need some of this dielectric paste, which I've already got a lot of the materials for this. You'll need coal, clay, and either lava buckets or blaze powder. Since we've been down the whole hostile neural network, we have a lot of blaze powder. So we're going to throw this. 64, 64, 64. How about 4 stacks to start us out? That sounds good. Now, I'm not going to keep going back into this, but I do want to show you. Basically, we're going to be creating different rods with the paste. We'll be throwing those together to create basically our base crafting thing. You know how thermal has the machine casings, right? They go in the middle of all of it. Hold up, that's not thermal. These, right, are machine frames. Powah uses these dielectric casings, so you'll be using this recipe a whole lot. And if you want to throw it in auto crafter, you know, we can do that actually. Let's see. Go here, and then we would just put a pattern, and bam, now we can auto craft that. Same thing, let's say we want to auto craft the straight up and down ones. Bam. Do the sideways ones, right? Bam. And then let's do iron bars, because that's really annoying to have to constantly go in there and do iron bars. Now we should have this fully auto-craftable. Throw this back over here. Oop, oop. You can not shift-click these in, just as a heads up. And now what I should be able to do is type in @Powah, and we have this craftable. If I select one, hit next, you can see it says available, available to craft, craft. So if it's already in the system, it'll say available. If you have to craft it, obviously it'll tell you what it has to craft. We hit start, and bam, literally seconds later we have one ready to go, and we're ready to continue on. You can also, is it shift? No. Control? There's a way you can craft even if you have them in your system, right? Where you don't have to pull them all out. But I don't know what the hotkey is, so. Let's see if we can do 10. 2, 3, 4. And I should be able to look at this, and there you have it. Shows you what it's crafting. Auto crafting complete. That's really smooth. I didn't realize it did that. And then we can continue on using our casings. So like I said, auto crafting, it's kind of nice. I guess we didn't actually get any of this because we didn't pull it into our inventory. Let's do that. And put that. Is that everything? Yeah, now we're fully caught up. Okay, so let's get into the energizing orb. This is kind of the main crafting component from Powah. This is the bread and butter of the mod, if you will. So there we go. And then I also think with Powah, you need to use its own sort of power system. So let me see. Doesn't it have... Yeah, energy cables. We need to make some of these. In order to make these, we need to make tiny. Do I have to do that, or can I go straight to basics? I go straight to basics. No, you have to have the starter. Shucks. Oh, no. No, you can use iron. Okay. So, next up, we'll be making some basic capacitors. Dielectric, redstone, iron. Very simple. Oh, and actually, let's say this is one of our quests, so we might as well complete it. Then we're going to be looking at some energy cables, and you need these to power the energizing rods. I've just never seen them play very well with other power inventories, I guess. Power management things. So we do have our flux point here, which is still going to be providing the power, but then we're going to be using the energy cables to actually send it out. What we'll want is to power this. Does that work? Is that working? I'm going to venture to say no. Let's just place it there. Maybe it doesn't have to connect? I was pretty sure this had to be powered, but I feel like if it had to be powered, it would connect. I'll do these up like this. And then I'll show you why we have this set up as such. Now, does Powah have a wrench of some kind? Yes, that's just that. Let's go see if I can't attach this in some manner. Big, link, rotate. Big, maybe? No? Link? No, that's linking to those things. You're supposed to be able to change the power output of these cables here. Maybe it'll only work when we have something attached there. So, this is the starter rod. Can we actually just go straight to basics? No, because we have to have starter. Okay. So to make the tiny capacitors, you just need the regular capacitors, right? So we'll just make a couple of those. Make our starter rods here. They don't stack, by the way. PS. Now, if I select 8, is that going to give me 80? Or literally 8? Literally 8. Okay. That's good to know. And then let's go back to here. Okay. So with those basic ones, now we can come over here. We need basic capacitors. Most of this is sort of a back and forthness if you haven't discovered that already. So once we get this sort of flow going, with show you what's up with what, then we're probably just going to jump into me doing most of this myself. We'll do there, there, there. This on link. It is, and it looks like they're already linking is done. Yep. So now this. Okay, if we right click, we want it to push, right? Yeah, push. South, that's fine. Here, it should be pulling. Right? And is this set up to... Or now it is. So these should all have power. Somehow you can see that. I thought. Oh, wait, right there. So right above our armor, you'll see this has stored 40,000 FE out of 40,000. And I guess this doesn't need to be attached to this. That's good. So we'll set up 3 more on this side, right? And then basically anything we put in there should just auto smelt out. And what we'll be putting in there is, let's see, did we get uranite from uranium? Yeah, so that'll be a good, easy thing to show you. Basically what we'll do is we'll take whatever we want to craft and go place it in. The energizing rods will laser the crap out of it and transform it into whatever it is that we're trying to create. And we'll just do this over and over again. So this is fully automatable, and what we'll end up doing more than likely is setting this into our system and then maybe setting up auto crafting with it. We'll see. But all you really need is to basically hopper items in, hopper items out. Not that difficult, except for when you get to, let's see, it's probably easier just to show you here, to these other recipes that require more than one item. So this requires gold and iron, right? So if you try to hopper it in, it's just going to fill it up with gold and not care about the iron and vice versa. So in order to make this easier, that's kind of why I end up doing auto crafting with it, because auto crafting sends the correct amount every single time, right? Towards your other systems for doing this, like redstone, cutoff points, and all that stuff, it's all very, very annoying to get into this, and especially since most of it is just throwing it in. Of course, this is not that bad, right? Getting to blazing. Energized still is really one of the worser ones because it's right off the bat. But all the rest of them are pretty much just singular. Pretty sure this is emerald. Yeah. And they just increase. Nitro, this is going to be interesting to get to because we don't currently have nether stars. And wither. Yeah, that's going to require wither there. How else could we get this? Wither skeleton skull. But regular skeleton skulls into an anti-protonic nucleosynthesizer. Say that 5 times fast. Alright, or it just drops from withers, which I've not seen any of. How would we get this? Skeleton. Okay, so we can go run our skeleton thing through there and end up with that. That is more than likely what we'll do to get our wither, whatchamacallit. So let's see. Do I still have, I don't have the hostile neural network stuff on me, so let's go hostile. We're going to need this out. We'll probably want to make some more of these prediction matrices, so let's make 3 stacks. And then basically what we'll do is grab out our skeletons. Here we are. Grab Enderman out of here because I've just been having them run. And we'll just set our system back to, you know, running its thing. Now, I believe this is only on advanced. Yeah, so if we wanted to, we could go out and fill it up more. It's fine, though. It shouldn't fill up our system here. Let me check this. So we need to empty all that. I don't know how many that's going to end up making. But we'll just put all these ender pearls in my backpack, and that'll be fine. And then this, I want in there. The Enderman, I want back in my system, and I want my system in my backpack, along with all these wrenches. So, I believe we're all caught up on that. We do have Powah stuff to get into now, right? Where we're basically just throwing this in here. So what we could do is sure come over here and we could hit gold, iron, and we could do this by hand. But I'm telling you now, you're going to get really annoyed really fast doing this by hand. And I mean, you could auto export, right, to where you have a hopper down below so you don't have to keep clicking that. But even doing this is going to be incredibly annoying. So let's see about setting this up with an auto crafting setup here, right? Since we went over that in the beginning, roughly. So we will want the recipe, or is it pattern provider, because this is what will actually provide said patterns to here. Yeah, I know this device is offline. The break that is going through, so I think we'll just have to run it like so. And then, hold up. I think we're gonna need some more string. We have string growing somewhere. There it is. Hemp fiber. Fairly sure we can turn this into string. Let's see. Indeed. Awesome. And we can turn the string into wool. Need the wool for later. So let's just throw that in there. And we may need some more search quartz dust. I haven't checked on that in a bit. Let's just go ahead and take a couple stacks of this and we'll drop on down to the crushing wheel. Mobility has become a lot better in this pack since having gotten, you know, rate of flight, obviously. The black dye we'll need in the future. Right now we are A to the OK. Grab about half a stack there. And again, I guess we could be using our wireless crafting terminal to do all this, but I digress. So, what we're going to want is some of those cables. Well, make some basic quartz fiber. Then we can make the glass cables. And then from the glass cables, we can make... Smart cables require the covered cables, right? Yeah. Okay. There we go. Whole lot of covered. Smart. Whole lot of smart. And I believe, can't you do that to make them extra chunky? Let's see if this will be enough to get us over there. Oh my goodness. It is super chunky. 5 left. We may not have enough to connect this back into the system. Oh, just enough. There we go. Now, realistically, I'm going to need the rest of our system to be upgraded to this chunky bit as well, but I just wanted to, you know, basically check it out. Okay, so this should be... Oh, give me that back. This should be set up into here. We're still going to need crafting storage, though, right? We'll need some more storage. And we could set this up on auto craft, that is true. It might be something we want to do, because we always want 27 of these, it seems. Any hoosers. 3? What are we... Ah, quartz glass. There we go. We already had quartz glass set up on auto create, right? There's those 9. The 9 will make 16. And actually, we might just use the 16 for the crafting units here. I think 2 might be enough. Let's see. I don't need the crafting window. Can I just do that? It says they're all online, so that's good. I believe we have the pattern. Come over here and I say I want to encode this pattern. And I put this there. Can we craft it? Is that gonna work? I'm very suspicious about this not working, but we'll see. 1, start. Yeah, there should be no co-processing. Oh, does it need the assembler? It shouldn't, right? Oh, it didn't pull it back out, so it put it in, it just didn't export it. Okay. So... would I need an export bus for that, I guess? Right? AE export. An ME export bus. I think this is what we'll need. So we take one of these. We're also gonna need some more cabling, right? Right. There we go. We got 3 smart cable here, so that might work. If I was to... nope. I need to shift it on there. Is this export bus? Okay. I think that should work. Let's try again. Because it did craft last time. I just didn't pull it back. What? What? Excuse me? Oh, we might be using all of the channels now. Oh no. So it's not getting all the way down to... hold on. Let me... it's not getting all the way down to our bottom system. So basically if I was to disconnect this... now we have access. And if I reconnect this, we should no longer have access. Yeah. Well, hey. This is, you know, very nifty of me to figure that out. So basically what we're going to need is a whole lot more cables. Let's see. At AE. How many of these covered cables can we actually make? Wait, what were we missing from this? Oh, the actual Fluix crystal? Whoa, whoa, whoa. How are we missing Fluix crystal? We had... oh, because it's not connected to the system. Right. So let's disconnect this, craft what we need to craft, and then we'll reconnect it. I was like, that doesn't sound... yeah, 6,000. It says we were out. Something seemed fishy. So let's just craft a whole bunch of these. 24. That's, I guess, a whole bunch. Tells me we're gonna need more. Now we come to the covered cables. 24. I feel like 24 is going to be enough, really, though, huh? What do we end up running out of? Was it wool? We can always make more, though, right? String? Hello? Oh, we don't have string in the system. We have hemp in the system. Right? We do that. No? That? Okay, so that gives us 36. And basically, I'm just going to have to run this all the way back down. But again, something tells me this is more than 36, because this took me a whole lot to get over here, actually. And yeah, some would say we can move our storage system closer. I would agree with those some. I would say you are correct. That I could move this closer. I actually don't want this to break that far. Oh, I know what I can do. Break a random component from there, and then that should work. Oh, but it broke it all the way back. That's messed up. Alright, so I believe this is the line that we need to take. And we'll basically just see how far we can get with this. I may end up doing more of this off camera. Yeah, because it looks like we're going to have to do this for quite some time here. So, I'm gonna get all this crafted up and basically just keep going in the big old crafting circle. And I'll see y'all in just a bit, because it looks like we might need to do this whole route routine one more time. But honestly, we got a lot further there than what I thought we were going to, so that's pretty nifty. There we go. Oh, wait. Whenever our Shapeless broke this, did it break it all the way up? What? Let me through! Alright, you know what? I'm smarter than this. I'm better than this. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. Broke it all the way to the root. Oh, shucks. There's my chunky cables. That's okay. So yeah, I'm going to get all this sorted out, and I'll see y'all in just a minute. Alrighty, so after all the cabling has been completed, I realized there's one other mistake in the system. This needs to be an import bus, not an export bus. Export pulls out of the system, import pulls into the system. Somehow I always get those two confused. But yeah, it should be working perfectly fine now. So if we come on over to our system, pick out the two that are in there, we hit craft 1, start, give it just a moment, and there we are. Ooh, energized steel. So now we can basically just go in here and craft go for a stack. And if we come on over here, it's actually not working. We're gonna have to have some way to specify, not priority. Okay, so let's see if this works. Let's take all of these out. How do we do this? Shift. How do you take items out of here once they're inside? I know there's a way you can do it. Oh, you just right click. That should work. It should take it out. Okay. So that's all we had to do is change this to blocking mode. Do not push crafting ingredients if inventory contains a pattern input. So basically, if it already contains 1 iron and 1 gold, don't push more. That's good. That is how we solve that. And now we should be able to come back to Powah and see it just, yeah, taking up there. So that's excellent. And basically all we'll do now is, so let's see, we had starter, right? These are the beginning energizing rods and the beginner energy cells. Literally everything in Power progresses the same way. You start with basic, then you go hardened, blazing, niotic, spirited, nitro. And all of this is based off of energized steel, blazing, niotic, spirited, and nitro. So get used to these recipes because you're going to be running through them a whole lot. Basically, next we'll need the hardened capacitor. So we'll just need to create some large capacitors from the small ones. That part of a quest? Of course it is. Then we'll need to get the hardened capacitors. Get from there, which is also a quest. And then basically you would just take your rod, bring it back over here, and upgrade it, right? So let's see. Take this rod. Bring it back now, y'all. 2 hops this time. And now this can store more power, can output more power, and so on and so forth. 100,000, and it's taken up pretty quickly, which we did upgrade some more of our power. So we have more dynamos, and they're also all putting out maximum, right? So we shouldn't need power for a little bit. And by the time that we do need more power, I think I'm going to have to get another hose pulley system going down below because this one is currently, it's starting to take a little bit of a hit. But basically Powah is how we're going to be improving our power in the future, because if we take a look here, we have magmators, which turn lava into power, same as what our, magma crucibles, or not magma, magmatic dynamos are doing now. However, this can generate 40,000 FE per tick once we get it all the way up, right? I mean, even getting it to blazing is 800 FE per tick. And again, all we need to do is put lava, and we get, it's 100. So 1/10 of a lava bucket, 1/10 of a lava bucket gives us 10,000 FE. That's a lot better than I think in the other one. Or maybe it's the exact same. Actually, I think it is the same. But anyways, this is how we're going to be generating power moving forward. There's also the thermo generator. What does this use? Oh, different heat sources in the world? Right. That's what we used for, what's it called? The magmator is what we're actually going to want to be creating here. And these basic capacitors, well, we probably don't need to set this up on auto because it's so easy to just select it and do a whole stack there that it's like, why would I? Now, we do have reactors in Powah, right? And this could be a good way to get a lot of FE because we look at the top reactor here, we have 500,000 per tick. And again, back here at magmators, this is only 40,000, so it's 10 times the amount if we want to go for the reactor. However, this is going to require a lot more materials, and honestly, we won't need that much power. Just, being honest with you, we just won't. Not the thermo, we're going to want the magmator, right? So let's craft 3 of these, maybe. Start out with 1, 2, 3. Then we'll go up to the basics, which require some of these. Let's see, basics. Control-click to craft unavailable items. Let's do it. Oh, but it just crafted 1. Is it Control-Shift-click, maybe? No, I don't know. Let's go ahead and craft 2 of those, so we'll be good. Add our 3 there, and then we come back to our magmator basic. Do 3. And can we get to hardened? We're gonna need some more of the capacitors. Let's see. And then hardened capacitor. I think we want 6, right? Let's come back to the magmator. Oh. We're gonna need to craft 3 more there. And this is why we set this up on auto craft, right? So I don't have to keep going back through. Same thing with the dielectric rods, because this gets annoying, as I'm sure you could tell, right? There we go. Now we have 3 of these, which will output 600 FE. And now for the blazing, do we have any more patterns? If not, we can get one real quick. Patterns, we do. Cool. So for this, what I want to do is look up blazing crystal. Make sure you're selecting the machine and the actual output. So I want to take it straight from the blaze rod. 1, it uses less power. 2, we don't have to worry about it using 4 and auto crafting blaze powder, all that kind of stuff. So let's just do that. And wabam. And I should be able to actually, yeah, so here we have energizing orb. Here we have molecular assembler. So what I can do is just take our pattern right here for blazing crystal and place it into our energizing orb. Now if I come back and I say I want to craft 10 of these, start. This may take a little bit longer because it requires more power to get all the way through. But there you go. Straight into the system. Right? And with that, we're right on to the next section of what we're doing. So, again, Powah and auto crafting, they're very hand in hand, in my opinion, in my book. I think if you get into Powah, you definitely want to have auto crafting, or you just want to make a whole lot of what you need before you start down this path, because again, you're going to end up needing a whole lot, basically. So, let's look at doing the blazing magmators, right? We want to make 3 of these, so we're going to need 6 blazing capacitors. 1, 2. Buckle my shoe. We're going to need 2 more here. Start. Probably going to need more than those 2 more, right? But we'll start out with those 2. And we may want to set up a hostile neural network to run pretty consistently. There's those 6 that we're going to need. Then we're going to need 5 for each one, so we'll need 15 more, right? So while that's going, let's also get these started. After those, oh, and actually, you know what? They're both going to go at once because it's 2 separate systems. Cool beans. And again, if we wanted to, we can increase these rods because these are just basics. If we can get these up all to blazing, then obviously this will go a lot faster. And we'll do that in just a minute, but I want to get our power situation fully there. So what are we at now? 7, 8. Okay, so we're about halfway there. And honestly, I think we're just about done with this pack too, because once we get, you know, on down the ladder here, we're basically into the beginning of the end, which is crafting the materials that we need for This Is Goodbye. Remember, This Is Goodbye is very, very short. And also, the one thing that I don't understand, here we need block of blocks. Here, we need block of blocks, which, I mean, these actually give you the good stuff, right? Creative energy cell. That's neither here nor there. So we got the pop up there. We know it's all ready. And back into Magmator blazing. 1, 2, and 3. So now we have 2400 FE per tick here. Go ahead and make ourselves an ender tank. There. And I don't remember if we have fluid cables on us or not. So let's just take this and pipes. An upgrade. Alright. Now I could just hook this up to this ever-growing problem there, but I think I will go around to a different side. So let's do it on this side. I have this smithing bench, but this was just to upgrade our system. So Magmator. Nope, no. Ender tank, which we need to color code to be all white. So where is this? And then white dye. Perfect. And if I do this, full with lava, now we get to see the real test of our system here. And of course we'll want to get that. These are all full and generating their 800 FE per tick, which is great because this was a lot simpler to make than making this machine plus making the upgrade plus making the 3 other upgrades, right? And this produces more power, so it's really a win-win. And we'll also want to come over here, smack. And we've essentially just increased our power output by 2400 FE. So that's it's pretty good. And this, I lied, this still doesn't need to be upgraded or touched, so that is fantastic. And yeah, we can continue with those magmators, basically, continue to upgrade. But because these are taking more power, I wanted to get more power immediately back into our system, right? So I'm basically just going to finish stair-stepping this out because that's all that we really need to do with Powah. And then we'll come back once we have the nitro, maybe? Let's see. The nitro is when we need to start getting into nether stars. To get to the nether stars. Whoa, wait, can we summon wither skeletons? I didn't think about that, but that would be really, really awesome. Region. The region around the altar where mobs are considered for sacrifice. Okay, so this is a little different. We need a skeleton, black dye, coal, and a soul bead. So we're basically just going to go set this up in another tower where we have a spawner available, right? And so if we put the skeleton in there and the coal and the black dye, we'll get a wither skeleton. Okay, so hold on, I'm right here. I don't know why I keep accessing this. With that in mind, do we already, I'm pretty sure, no? I was pretty sure I already had one of these model frameworks available because I was going to get it for slime, but I never found the slime. Did I leave it in my other system down here? That seems like something I could have done because I did, yeah. I left some stuff down there. What are you going to do? Sue me, okay? I just didn't want to move everything. Honestly, I didn't feel like crafting 5 more storage cell units, even though now that we have auto crafting, it's probably easier to do if we just take the time. We just take the time. But I'm so close to finishing the pack, I may just, you know, finish the pack instead of worrying about that. That's probably what we'll do. Just finish it. Yeah, I'm going to go through the rest of this. When we do go to get the wither skeleton, we're actually, maybe we go ahead and do that. So what do we need? Soul bead. Black dye, right? Yeah. What was the other thing? Coal, I think it was. Yeah, coal. Okay, so that, and we'll just need to do this. We right click it, then we'll have to put it in here and build it, right? Let's go do this real quick just because it should be fairly simple. Might be simpler if we go this way. I think I've destroyed a lot of the ones that were out in the classic direction there for us, but this should be... Oh, wait, won't we need soul as well? Come back. And I should be able to access my system. Here. Cool. So what was it? Soul? Soul. Hope we have some of that in our other system here, maybe? Yeah, let's go. Always prepared. I shouldn't have moved that because, yeah, now it's going to do that. Okay. Any Hoosers? Okay, so let's see. Place that there. And then what was the number? 4 and 2? There's 4. There's 2. Wait a minute, doesn't that just give us... Oh, hey. Yeah, it wasn't necessary. Really wasn't necessary there. Alright, but now we need to, you know, slay 6 of those, right? Wait, what happened? Baby, come back. You can blame it all on me. Hey, ow! Alright, so that could have been a mistake. You know what? Just get rid of one of these. Hey! Let them finish their foolish antics. There. Came to the wrong party there, buddy. Alright. We'll just keep doing this, basically, and get our wither skeleton thing going. We need 5 more. Now we need less. Oh, man, the fact that y'all drop coal is just going to mess up my whole system here, ain't it? What are we at? 4 remaining? We need 4. Make that 3. Ow. You're a mean one, Mr. Skeleton. Ow, stop it. I opened your area up to be nice, to be kind, to give you a little bit of sunlight. I mean, 2 more? Okay. Y'all really didn't need to be here for this portion, but you know what? You're here now, and so I guess welcome to the party. We're already almost done. Once we get this done, though, then I'm for real. I'm going to cut until we get done with power, because that's it, right? That's all we got to do. And once we get this fully done here with the faulty modeling, yeah, now we can go throw this back in the system. Oh, that's death. Wait, is that death our home? No, that death's not our home. I died over there. I'm not sure when, not sure why. We died. Wait, is this... This isn't going home either. This is home. Death is home. We're somewhere near home. Alright, so I should be able to take this out, right? We don't want any crummy skeletons. Well, we got your upgrade. Although I will say, I guess all of that was kind of pointless now, right? Yeah. Yeah, kind of. Might as well run them through, though, while we got them. Do I want just bones? Let's do some skulls. Right, just so I have them. Just for the sake. Never know. And then we'll do bones. Alright. And I can put this away, and everything else can just go into system here. Okay. That looks a lot better, yeah? A lot more organized. Alright, so we're going to run through Powah. This should be outputting... Well, shoot, it's got to get all the way through basics and all that kind of stuff, right? Which has got 6%, so realistically, we're going to need a lot more of these prediction matrices. But I will see y'all in just a moment. Well, it'll be just a moment for you. It'll be quite a while for me. Alright. I have a confession to make. I did the thing that I said I wouldn't do, and I'm not even upset about it. I made a reactor, the whole huge nitro level reactor that can output 500,000 FE per tick, which is pretty good. Got this linked into our flux system, and yeah, we'll never need for power again. Now, this looks complicated, which is why I've chosen to do it off camera and explain it later, so that way I could have my full bearings about me and know everything that I'm talking about. So, first, I guess let's go through this, right? Because we basically just cycled everything through here. Just like I said I was going to do, I just kept putting it in and taking it out. We've upgraded the cables, we've upgraded the energizing rod, so everything has been upgraded, including, if you want this process to go a little bit faster, you can throw some acceleration cards in your import bus. It'll take the items out faster, which will allow them to be placed in faster, which obviously allows you to auto-craft them faster. So, we basically just went through the cycle, just like I said, you know, all the way down to nitro. Again, you can get nitro from getting nether stars. We got this from the wither skeleton skulls, which we got from the loot fabricator, which we just did. So, all that's fine. Soul sand, by the way, if you haven't seen, you can get from haunting regular sand, so this is really easy. So, all that should be pretty self-explanatory, and we do have it all set up in the auto crafter. Sorry, this isn't the way that we want to see it. This is the way that we want to see it. Now, you'll see that we have two energizing orbs. One just has a pattern for uranium into uranite, which goes into our reactor. Now, the best way to explain the reactor is to quite simply direct you to the book, the manual on Powah, which is really simple to create. You just need one book and one dielectric paste. Of course, we've already been through that. What you want to do is right-click, and right here you have a reactor. Obviously, this goes over most things, and this book is really, really nice, so don't be shy in using it. But this will essentially tell you everything you need to know. To build it, you need 36 reactor blocks, so that's pretty simple, right? In your hand and placing them in a 3x4 replaceable area. So basically, when you have the 36 in your hand and you right-click, it will auto-build them. So you can, you know, do that. I guess we could maybe create some more real quick. Let's see, how efficient is this going to be? Probably not very, huh? Yeah, because we're going to have to create the uranite and all that. Never mind. So once you have 36 in hand, you just right-click, and actually I can show you with wooden blocks. So, this is the same area that this is taken up, right? What you'll want to do is right-click in the middle block, and it will literally auto-build this structure for you. So wherever you want it, right-click in the middle, and it will build it all out. Any hoosers. Then we come to this screen, which seems really confusing, but essentially it's just asking you for a lot of items to be put in order to create power. And I think most of these are just for efficiency's sake. Like, I think all you really need is a coolant and the uranite. that being said, I wanted to make sure that everything stayed super frosty and super efficient. So I've decided to import all of the items, and we already have access to creating all of these infinitely. So, I mean, honestly, if you're already to this point of creating reactors, you're probably going to want to go ahead and do this. Really simple. So over here on the side, we have the items, as I call them, being put in. So coal, redstone, and ice all being created, generated, or piped from over here. And literally the redstone and the coal just comes from our system that we've already set up. You know, we built another ender drawer and linked it, and now we're just exporting. So it's that simple. For the ice, we have a blast chiller, which we've gone over previously for getting obsidian. We literally just took the obsidian blast chiller and moved it up here. We have water being pumped out from an upgraded water source, tier 5. Again, we went over water sources back whenever we did create. So this is just constantly filled with water. Got power coming from the flux point, and I don't think we need any augmentations because obviously it's got 64 in here and 64 in here, and no worries of running out. So from this section right here, this little cross section, we are pulling all of the items, and none of these item pipes have any upgrades in it because honestly you don't need that many items, you just need a constant inflow, right? So over here we have the water being pumped from a water source tier 5, which is really simple to get. In case you have forgotten though, you can always type @water and it'll bring up the water sources. How you upgrade them is by getting the tier 1, and then you'll want to get the iron upgrade, shift right click, gold upgrade, shift right click, diamond upgrade, and you do have to do it progressively, so you can't just go tier 1 to tier 4 or tier 5 just because you have the upgrade. You have to make the tier 1 and then make the iron, make the gold, make the diamond, and so forth. So that shouldn't have any problem, you know, keeping up with water. This one I have upgraded just to make sure, and that's literally everything explained minus the uranite, which comes into play right here. What we've done is set up a whole separate energizing orb. That way when we go to autocraft, it doesn't overlap, right? We're not like, oh, wait, we have to wait for our uranite to craft because we need it in our reactor. So essentially, we just took another line off here, right, using more of the covered cables. Set another auto crafter up, which again, like I've explained how easy it is, but now you can really see. We have a pattern provider. We have a crafting storage. That's all we need to power this auto crafter, like to power this auto crafting process, I guess I should say. And then of course you have the import bus, which is pulling into the system, and if we wanted to, we could put some acceleration cards on here. I haven't seen a reason or necessity for it thus far, so we're all fine. This energizing orb is being powered by these 3 energizing rods here. You can link them by getting a wrench. If you open the wrench, it'll show you where the power is being sent to. Just right click, and you're good to go. So yeah, this is basically just importing the uranite that gets created. It'll go straight into our system. Then over here, and these little docks that you see here are how you import your items in. And up top, has a little spot for you to export the power. So, here all we have is an export bus with a crafting upgrade. So anytime this needs uranite, it will say, hey, craft uranite, right? And since we already have an auto crafter set up, it will automatically do it. That's kind of the nice thing with Applied Energistics is you can set up systems like this where I never have to go in and create uranite. And sure, it may be easy, but I don't ever have to think about it. I don't ever have to touch it. So this crafting card upgrade will give the export bus the ability to pull from your auto crafters, essentially, to like use them. Does that make sense? So all we've done is set a filter for uranite, crafting card, and we're good to go. Again, we could probably use an acceleration card, but I haven't seen a purpose for it. Most of this machine is very slow anyways, like not too often am I using 500,000 FE per tick, right? So I do have auto mode on, so basically it just says when it'll stop, when it'll start, all that good stuff, so I don't blow the system for whatever reason. And that's literally it. So all this stuff, very simple, already created. It's just a matter of setting it up and importing it. Water, incredibly simple, and that covers, you know, 90% of this. And then the uranite is probably the most difficult part. But again, if you just follow this tutorial right, where we set up all of these patterns, you just set up one pattern for the uranite, put it in your pattern provider, and it's good to go. You'll never run out. Now, obviously, this top area is getting a little messy, but that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're done with Powah. We've done the reactor all the way out. And again, with the reactor, just like everything in Powah, you have to do 36 starter. You upgrade it to the basic, to the hardened, to the blazing, to the niotic, to the spirited, and then to the nitro. Which is why I didn't do all this on camera, because a lot of it was place this in here, select auto craft, wait 3 minutes or 2 minutes or 1 minute, however long it took the craft to do, and then sort of keep cycling it, right? They're not a very difficult progression system there. Now, we will be getting into the beginning of the end in our next episode, and this is going to be the end. It will be the end. Basically, we're going to get into crafting some black iron ingots, which, as we've been over before, can be made in our energizing orb. We need iron, we need black dye. Now, I've already solved the solution on black dye, and I want to go ahead and get this marked and out of the way. We might touch up on it again in the next episode, just because, you know, it'll be the main point there. But essentially what we have down here is an auto black dye creator. Honestly, and I should turn this down maybe. That's fine. So, essentially what we have is an auto black dye creator. We have scorched stone that is constantly being pumped in, and this just comes straight from our old system. All I've done is set up... Oh, we can break this now. All I've done is set up an ender drawer, so as soon as the scorched stone comes in, it gets pumped out straight down below, which is fine because we have two systems. Like, this is making scorched stone as well, which makes all the rest of our stone down here, so we don't have to worry about that. And we never use scorched stone for anything anyways. So basically the scorched... Okay. So basically the scorched stone is coming into this ender drawer, which is being piped with just a basic item pipe, into a factory block placer. This is the only block placer that I found in the world. I'm sure there's some way to do it with applied energistics maybe. I'm not sure. But this is the route that I found that works. We can make this using some old wood planks, which you can get from treated wood planks, and charcoal, which we've already done before, dispenser, and metal bars. Really simple. And then essentially you just put in the item and it places it down. There's some redstone control stuff down here. I didn't bother to read the manual. It works as I needed, just out of the box, so that's good. On the opposite side here, might be a little hard to see. Actually, oh no, there we go. We have a mechanical drill from Create, and essentially all this does is break the block in front of it as long as it has power. We made another electric motor, and we have power going into that from a flux point, and so this basically just constantly breaks the scorched stone. Purpose of this being to get this material right here, this scorched pebble, which we're throwing most of it away into here. I can apparently do that. Because for some reason it keeps popping out of here, even though right here we have another vacuumulator, so it should theoretically be picking it all up, but sometimes, you know, it misses pieces. Anyways, the vacuumulator is then shooting down the scorched pebble, as you can see, into the crushing wheel, which crushes it, turns into black dye, which we have a ton of right there, just being pumped into our hopper and onward, you know. So that's how we have auto black dye set up, and we could probably pipe from here or do a different system, but it works, and so that's fine. That black dye is in another ender chest, and that's because we're going to need it in our system, which is not that way. It's right over here. So we've just got black dye linked into the rest of the storage drawer. And ladies and gentlemen, I believe that's it. You know, we went all the way through Powah. We've got ourselves set up for next episode. We have the energy cables, which again, if you're ever curious, like, how does Powah work? It's a building system, so you need basics to get, I don't have any standard. But let's just take a look at niotic, right? So to get niotic, you can use blazing, and you don't have to, you can just go straight into these, but I chose to do the upgrades because we were also upgrading our system along the same lines, right? So it just kind of made sense to keep upgrading our cables and everything all at once. If you want a good example of the machine working, though, we can do that. So let's take out some of our nitro crystals here. Let's say we want to craft just one batch. We're missing a nether star. I didn't ever add that to the auto craft recipe just because we can craft almost as many as we want. I don't know how many wither skeleton skulls we actually have in the system. 20 more. So yeah, we can make a lot more of this stuff because remember, each recipe of this crafts 16. So not actually too difficult to get the nitro running. There we are, everything's available. We're going to end up crafting a block of blazing crystal to do this, so let's hit start. Blazing crystal is going through. and it's going extremely fast. And that should be enough there. Yeah. And you see, even this goes through super, super quick there. I don't even know that we didn't even make a dent on our power over here. You will want to hit bypass limit if you're using Flex Plug for this, because obviously this is a lot of power. That's literally it. Now we have 16 more in there, and we can continue, upgrading whatever else we needed to. I don't think there is anything else to upgrade, given we already have the reactor. We could get into the ender cells, which is another way to transfer power wirelessly, but honestly, it's so much more complicated than Flux. Flux is great, and it's limitless. It's literally limitless, so... yeah. Anyways, thanks everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Next episode, I think we finish the pack. I think we get to the end of it. Now, obviously, I'll be going over block of blocks. Like, we need to get Electrum and all this kind of stuff automated, right? But we may not even need to get it automated. How many block of blocks do we need for the final craft? That is the question. 10, right? 4, that's 8, 2 is 10. We need 10 of all of these blocks, which equals 90 ingots. That's not too shabby. We'll be able to do this pretty easy. So how do we do this? Alright, this will probably be one of the most expensive things, but honestly, it's not going to be that difficult. Yeah, next episode, we'll get into the ultimate crafting table and go through basically how to make all this stuff, which it seems like most of it's pretty easy. Oh, thanks again. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new here. Share this out. Friends, family, family of the friends, friends of the family. As per the usual, stay awesome, stay safe, stay crafting, you beautiful, lovely, most excellent people and viewers and fans. And until next time, peace out.